There are certain things that you can do on your own when it comes to, personal finance, when it comes to home repair, changing a light switch, putting in a fan, things like that. You can probably do that. When it comes to finding ways to make sure you save as much as possible when it comes to your taxes, what you owe Uncle Sam without running the risk of Uncle Sam, well, that can be a little trickier. We're going to talk about that here on this episode of Aspire to Retire with Ralph Short, Tim Short, and Scott Earhart of Welcome Home Financial Partners. Really do appreciate you joining us today. WelcomeHomeFP.com is the website. You want to find out more about the guys, set up a time to speak with them. Again, that's at welcomehomefp.com. My name is Chris Swan, and I'm pleased to be joined, as always, by the one and only Ralph Short, Tim Short, and Scott Earhart. Gentlemen, always a pleasure. How are we doing today?
Great. Doing good. How are you, sir?
Doing well, thank you. So, as we all know, the Trump tax cuts are set to sunset at the end of 2025, and it's a great time to take advantage of those before there are any changes. One strategy to mitigate your taxes, whether in the code we're in right now or in general, is something called tax loss harvesting. What exactly is that? Here is tax attorney Andrew Gordon on Yahoo Finance.
Tax loss harvesting refers to selling capital losses or stocks or securities that are currently at a loss position, meaning that you bought it at a price higher than it's trading for today. If you've had stock gains or any capital gains throughout the tax year, those capital losses from your tax loss harvesting can reduce or offset those gains. In some cases, even eliminate them in full.
Is this something to tackle on their own or with a financial advisor? Since tax loss harvesting is often done at the end of the year, is it a good idea to go and make an appointment? I mean, here we are, we've only got weeks to go before the calendar changes. Is it a good idea to make an appointment perhaps before Thanksgiving to get started?
What I would say is that whatever you are trying to accomplish by reducing your taxes needs to be done before the end of the year, particularly if you're talking about this, because guess what? If you do it next year, it doesn't count for this year. So if you're trying to get some gains and take some losses at the same time so you would not have any taxable gain, that's a great idea. But you don't want to wait until December 30th, December 31, whatever, because guess what? It might be too late to get all that stuff done before the end of the year.
Yeah, it takes some time. There's so many people that we meet with that thinks, if we do, a transfer or a sell or a buy or whatever, that it's immediate. It's not always immediate. But so I would say you definitely need to schedule a meeting before Thanksgiving to start those conversations. I met with a gentleman the other day. He's got about $3.5 million inside of one of his brokerage accounts, and he's been working with the advisor since 2017, and everything he was telling me, I'm reading the statements, and it's not lining up. And he goes, well, I've heard so much of tax loss harvesting, what can we do? And I'm looking and I'm like, well, we could help you with that, but unfortunately, you're in a good position where you don't have any losses to sell. So it doesn't work out always the way that people want it to. There's a lot of folks that want to minimize or get rid of taxation. Well, guess what? It's not going to happen. There are ways to minimize to a point, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to pay your fair share, and that's just what it is. But it is a good strategy to use, but not everybody can use it because you might not have losses. That's the end game is you want to see nothing but gains. You don't want to see those losses.
Tim's absolutely right. I mean, tax loss harvesting, as far as the concept goes, is a nuanced concept, and it's not right for everybody in every situation. It's not like you can guarantee yourself a harvest every single year and reduce your taxes. So if it's something that is of interest to you, absolutely you need to call, set up an appointment. We'll sit down, take a look, and let you know exactly where you stand. But beyond that, is a tax loss harvest the right idea for you? I mean, is it right to sell off at a loss on a specific holding just to offset some capital gains you received earlier? And then the other thing that we need to make explicitly clear here, if somebody's interested in tax loss harvesting, we're going to help them offset capital gains taxes. We're not offsetting that ordinary income tax that's out there, that beautiful bracket. I mean, that I've met with a lot of people that think they can offset ordinary income, and that just simply cannot be done through tax loss harvesting. And I wish it could be done. I guess you probably could do it, but then you end up in jail, and that's not where anybody wants to go.
And Scott brings up a very valid point. There's so many different taxation things that people do not fully understand how it works, because they don't want you to understand how it really works.
Yeah.
Okay? So what I would say to most people is you do need some advice when you start thinking about how to reduce taxes. because you do have capital gains, you have personal income, then you have business income. So there's a lot there. Not that we're accountants or anything like that, but we do have to have a lot of knowledge of how to do things like this and explain it to you in a way that you can understand it. Because, like Scott said, you do not it's not for everybody, but you do not want to do this by yourself, particularly if you don't understand what capital gains is versus personal income.
I watched a video the other day of a comedian, and he was talking about the IRS, and he summed it up just about as perfect as I think it could be summed up. He said, "Hi, I'm the IRS. I need you to calculate what you owe." And then the fake person he's talking to says, "Well, don't you know what I owe?" "Well, yes, we do know what you owe, but we need you to figure it out. We're not going to tell you." "Well, what happens if I don't pay what I owe?" "Well, we're going to send you to jail." So I that stuck with me when we talk about the complexity of the United States tax system. We have one of the most complex tax systems in the modern world, and it's very, very difficult to navigate. Therefore, you do need to work with financial professionals to help you understand what the ramifications are for you, because for sure the IRS knows what they are. They're just not going to tell you what they are.
They will if you get it absolutely wrong. They'll definitely make sure that you're informed of it. And, best case scenario, you end up paying more in taxes. The worst case, as we said, you get the three hots on a cot. But you want to make sure that you develop this strategy. This is not something that you want to do on your own. And it's not something that you want to, especially if you're looking for calendar year 2024, how to reduce these taxes, whether it is through tax loss harvesting or Roth conversions, whatever the strategy is, you want to make sure you do it sooner rather than later. I realize we're in the tail end of the year. So, between the processing times and the fact that, some offices, not speaking on behalf of you guys, but some of these brokerage houses, things like that, they may be closed in the latter half of the, or the last week of the year. And so you want to do it as soon as possible if you are serious about minimizing your taxes. And I have to say this every single time, just for the sake of it. Tax minimization is not tax avoidance. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about, tax evasion, anything of that nature, but finding ways to pay what you are legally required to pay to Uncle Sam, but not a penny more. And that all starts with a proper strategy. That is what you get with the team at Welcome Home Financial Partners. So if you have questions about tax loss harvesting, about Roth conversions, about your financial outlook, any aspect as it comes to your retirement, go to welcomehomefp.com. Set up a time to speak with the guys. It is complimentary. You can find out how to attend one of their First Friday events. You can see their handsome faces over on the website. We made it real easy for you. The link is, I don't know why you laugh every time I say that, but it's true. The link is right there in the podcast description. Just click it. It'll take you where you need to be, and they look forward to speaking with you. And we want to thank you for joining us, letting us chat with you today here on Aspire to Retire. Hope you have a great day ahead of you. Gentlemen, always hope you have a great day ahead of you. And as we wrap up, I want to leave you with the final word.
Thank you, Chris. So there's a lot of different tax strategies that you can take a look at, whether it's tax loss harvesting, whether it's Roth conversions. There's a lot of things that you can do, but it's very important to get the professional advice. Don't go out alone. So if you are interested in some of those strategies, give us a call. We'd love to see you in the office and we can talk a little further. Thanks. Take care.
All content is for information purposes only. It is not intended to provide any tax or legal advice or provide the basis for any financial decision, nor is it intended to be a projection of current or future performance or indication or future results. Opinions expressed herein are solely those of Welcome Home Financial Partners and Welcome Home Wealth Advisors, LLC. The information contained in this material has been derived from sources believed to be reliable, but is not guaranteed as to accuracy and completeness and does not purport to a complete analysis of the materials discussed. All information and ideas should be discussed in detail with your individual advisor prior to the implementation. Each individual investor's situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstance. Advisor services are offered by Welcome Home Wealth Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Virginia. Being registered as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Insurance products and services are offered through WPI Holding, Virginia Insurance License Number 138509, an affiliated company. The information contained herein should in no way be construed or interpreted as a solicitation to sell or offer to sell advisory services to any resident of any state other than the state of Virginia or where otherwise legally permitted. Welcome Home Wealth Advisors, LLC, and Welcome Home Financial Partners are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any government agency.